My name is Diego, and I was there when Mia's story changed forever. It was a crisp autumn afternoon on October 15th, just as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the park. Mia stood there, her heart racing as she faced her ex-husband across the picnic table, the remnants of their once happy relationship hanging in the air like an uninvited ghost. She smiled, but her eyes betrayed the storm brewing within. The scent of fresh grass mingled with the sound of wind chimes tinkling in the breeze, creating a bittersweet soundtrack to her heartbreak. Just days before, they had finalized the sale of their beach house, a place that held countless memories of laughter and love, now reduced to a transaction that felt like a severing of ties. As she tried to project strength, she trembled slightly, caught between hope and despair. How can blood turn to poison like this? What nobody knew was that this meeting held a secret that would unravel everything they once believed about love, loyalty, and betrayal. The beach house, once a sanctuary, now felt like a symbol of everything that had gone wrong, a constant reminder of the life she thought they would build together. Mia stood on the porch of her beach house, the familiar scent of rain on the pavement mingling with the salty air. It was a quiet Saturday morning, the kind that made her heart swell with nostalgia. The wind chimes hung from the eaves, gently swaying in the breeze, creating a melody that reminded her of summers spent here with her late husband, Ethan, and their son. The memories felt like a warm blanket, wrapping her in comfort, even as they brought an ache to her heart. She poured herself a cup of fresh coffee, the rich aroma filling the air. Every sip was a reminder of the laughter that used to echo through this house, the little family traditions they had created together. The memories felt like a warm blanket, wrapping her in comfort, even as they brought an ache to her heart. She poured herself a cup of fresh coffee, the rich aroma filling the air. Every sip was a reminder of the laughter that used to echo through this house, the little family traditions they had created together. This place was more than just a house. It was a sanctuary, a repository of cherished moments. Mia could almost hear Ethan's voice teasing her about how she'd never be able to finish her coffee before it got cold. Oh my God, how she missed those days. As she settled into her favorite chair on the porch, she couldn't shake the feeling of something shifting in the air. The community festival was set to begin later that afternoon, an event that always drew the townsfolk together, but today felt different. She glanced at the weathered steps that led down to the beach, where Ethan had built sandcastles with their son, and her heart sank. How long could she hold on to these memories before they began to fade? "Mia!" called a voice, pulling her from her reverie. It was David, her old friend, waving enthusiastically as he approached. "Are you ready for the festival? I brought those homemade cookies you love." You know me too well," Mia replied with a smile, her spirits lifting a little. "I can't wait to see what everyone's been up to." As David settled into a chair across from her, he looked around the porch, taking in the familiar surroundings. "You've done such a wonderful job keeping this place alive," he said, his gaze softening. "It's like a time capsule of your family's love." Mia nodded, her thoughts drifting again. "It feels like a part of Ethan is still here, you know, like he's watching over us." David's expression turned serious. "And what about you, Mia? Are you taking care of yourself? I worry sometimes. You've carried so much." She sighed, feeling the weight of his words. "I'm trying, but sometimes it's hard to let go. This house is all I have left of him, of our life together." As they talked, the sound of laughter and music drifted from the festival grounds, a stark contrast to the quietness of her porch. The wind picked up, and Mia closed her eyes for a moment, letting the breeze wash over her. Reflection. That moment on the porch changed everything. The festival was in full swing by the time Mia and David made their way down to the beach. The vibrant colors of the decorations filled the air with a sense of joy, and Mia felt a flicker of excitement as she saw familiar faces. She wandered through the stalls, chatting with neighbors, sharing stories of her beach house, which had become a symbol of resilience in her life. It felt good to connect, to be reminded that she was part of a community that cared. "Did you hear about the old Thompson house?" a neighbor asked, her voice buzzing with gossip. "They're selling it. Can you believe it?" Mia shook her head. The thought of another family losing their home struck a chord deep within her. "It's a shame. So many memories tied to that place." "Oh, I know. And speaking of homes, I heard your son is back in town?" the neighbor continued, her eyes gleaming with curiosity. "Ethan? Yes, he's visiting for the weekend," Mia said, pride tinging her voice. "It'll be good to have him here." But as the day wore on, Mia's excitement began to wane. She found herself glancing at her phone more often than she intended, waiting for a message that didn't come. The laughter around her felt distant, as if she were watching from behind a glass wall. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Mia felt a tightening in her chest. The festival was winding down, and she knew she had to head back home. She stood at the edge of the beach, looking out at the waves crashing against the shore. "Hey Mia," David called, catching up with her. "Everything okay?" "Yeah, just thinking," she replied, forcing a smile. "You know how it goes." David studied her for a moment before speaking. "You deserve to be happy, Mia. Don't forget that." "I know," she said softly. "It's just, I can't help but feel that things are changing." Cultural reflection. In the porch, it hurt like strength. Later that night, as Mia sat on her porch again, the weight of the day settled around her. She sipped her coffee, letting the warmth seep into her bones. The wind chimes tinkled softly in the breeze, and for a brief moment, she felt at peace. But then her phone buzzed, breaking the silence. "Mia, you need to see this," a text from Tom read. Her heart raced as she opened the message, her breath hitching in her throat. The image that flashed before her eyes was nothing short of shocking. In that instant, Mia's world shifted once again. The beach house, her sanctuary, the place where her heart had found solace, was suddenly at the center of a storm she never saw coming. Mia gazed out the window. "What a beautiful day," she whispered. Tom noticed her distant look. "You seem lost in thought." Mia stepped onto the porch, the familiar creak of the wooden boards beneath her feet a reminder of countless summers spent here. The scent of rain on pavement lingered in the air, a refreshing contrast to the lingering warmth of the day. She wrapped her hands around her steaming coffee mug, letting the warmth seep into her fingers as she watched the wind chimes dance softly in the breeze. There was something about that sound that always filled her with hope, a gentle promise of better days. Returning from a weekend at the beach had never felt so uneasy. Ethan, her son, had been different since they arrived home. He had barely spoken during the drive back, his eyes glued to the passing scenery, as if it were a movie he couldn't pause. Now he stood in the living room, his back to her, fiddling with his phone, his shoulders tense. Mia's heart sank as she approached him, her instincts kicking in. "Ethan," she said, her voice laced with concern, "is everything okay? You've been so quiet." He turned slightly, avoiding her gaze. "Yeah, Mom, just tired from the drive, I guess." Mia frowned, not buying his excuse. "You've been acting strange since we left the beach. Is there something you want to talk about?" He shrugged, still not looking at her. "Nothing's wrong, really." Her intuition prickled. There was something off, something he wasn't sharing. As she sipped her coffee, the warmth did little to chase away the chill creeping into her heart. She decided to give him space, hoping he'd open up on his own terms. The next morning, Mia found Ethan in the kitchen, his phone pressed to his ear. She tried to catch snippets of his conversation, but he spoke in hushed tones, glancing nervously at her from time to time. After he hung up, she couldn't hold back her curiosity any longer. "Who were you talking to?" she asked, feigning nonchalance. "Just a friend," he replied, his tone clipped. "Really? Because it sounded like more than just a casual chat. You've been acting secretive." Ethan sighed, his frustration evident. "Mom, it's just, I'm trying to figure some stuff out, right?" "Stuff?" Mia pressed, her heart racing. "What kind of stuff?" He ran a hand through his hair, a sign he was getting agitated. "Just some opportunities, okay? I'll handle it." Mia's mind raced. Opportunities? What kind of opportunities? She felt the urge to dig deeper, but resisted, not wanting to push him away further. Instead, she decided to keep an eye on him, hoping he'd come to her when he was ready. Days passed, and the weight of Ethan's secrecy hung over their home like a storm cloud. Mia's unease transformed into determination. She needed to know what was going on, so she began her own investigation. She started by casually asking about his friends, trying to glean any information. Then, one afternoon, after a particularly heavy rain, she found Ethan in the living room again, looking at something on his laptop. The smell of damp earth wafted through the open window, mingling with the sweet scent of the barbecue she had started on the grill. "What's that you're looking at?" she asked, leaning against the doorframe. He quickly closed the laptop, the action so sudden that it raised her suspicions even more. "Just some school stuff." "Ethan," she pressed, stepping closer, "I know when you're hiding something. Just tell me the truth." He hesitated, his eyes darting away. "Fine, I've been meeting with some investors about the beach house." Mia's heart raced, her stomach dropping. "What do you mean? Investors? Why?" He shifted uncomfortably. "I want to sell it, Mom. I thought it would be a good opportunity for us to make some money." "What? Oh my God, I can't believe this," she exclaimed, disbelief flooding through her. "You sold my beach house without even asking me?" "It's not sold yet, we're just talking," he defended. "But it's a good investment. You're always saying we need to be smart with our money." "That's not the point, Ethan. You can't just make decisions like this without consulting me. It's my house." Her voice rose, the emotional weight of the moment crashing down on her. He crossed his arms, a stubborn look on his face. "It's not just your house anymore. It belongs to both of us." Mia felt her heart ache at his words. The porch, the memories, the laughter, it all flashed through her mind. In the porch, it hurt like hope. She had sacrificed so much to build a life for them, and now her son was willing to toss it all aside. "Ethan, this house represents everything we've been through as a family. It's not just a property to sell," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. He stared at her, his expression softening for a moment. I thought it could help us. You always talk about starting fresh." "Not like this," Mia whispered, feeling defeated. In that moment, Mia realized that Ethan was seeking independence in a way she hadn't anticipated. She took a deep breath, trying to compose herself. "Let's sit down and talk about this. You need to understand why this is important to me." As they settled onto the porch, the wind chimes tinkled softly, a reminder of the fragile nature of their relationship. That moment at the porch changed everything. It was a moment that would define not only their future, but also the bond between mother and son. They had a long way to go, but perhaps together they could navigate the storm that was brewing. Mia took a deep breath. "We need to have a serious conversation." Tom tensed up. "About what, exactly?" Mia stood in her backyard, the scent of fresh grass wafting through the air, mingling with the aroma of her coffee. She gazed out at the ocean, the waves crashing against the shore. But today, the beauty felt tainted. Her mind raced as she replayed the conversation with Ethan in her head, his evasive answers gnawing at her. "Ethan, we need to talk about your meetings. What are you really up to?" she demanded, her voice rising above the chirping birds. She watched as he shifted uncomfortably, his eyes darting away from hers. "Mia, I'm just trying to help us," he insisted, trying to sound calm. "With our finances, you know. The beach house is, well, it's an asset." Her heart sank at his words. "This isn't about the house, Ethan. It's about trust. Why can't you just be honest with me?" "I swear I'm being honest. I thought you'd appreciate my efforts," he replied, the frustration evident in his tone. Mia crossed her arms, feeling a mix of heartbreak and anger. How could he think selling their home, the place filled with memories, was a solution? Just then her phone buzzed, pulling her attention. It was David, her old friend and a real estate agent. "Hey Mia, I've got some news that might interest you. The beach property market is heating up. You might want to consider selling soon." Mia frowned, unsure of how to respond. "I don't know, David. It feels like a betrayal to even think about it. This place is everything to me." "I get it," he replied, his voice gentle yet firm. "But you need to think about what's best for you. The market won't be this good forever." As she listened, Mia felt a weight pressing down on her chest. It wasn't just about the house. It was about her life, her choices, and the sacrifices she had made for her family. The thought of losing her sanctuary was unbearable, yet so was the idea of continuing to live in uncertainty. "David, I can't believe this is happening. My son sold my beach house without asking. I never thought I'd be in this position," she said, her voice cracking slightly. "Mia, I know it's tough, but maybe this is a chance for a fresh start. Think about it," he encouraged, his sincerity shining through the phone. In that moment, Mia felt torn. Could she truly let go of the place that held her dreams and memories? The laughter of her son, the summer barbecues with friends, the quiet mornings with coffee in hand. How could she abandon it all? As she paced the backyard, her mind raced with possibilities. Suddenly, the realization hit her like a wave crashing on the shore. Perhaps it wasn't just about the house. It was about taking control of her life again. "David, what if I sold the house but used the money to start fresh? Maybe even fulfill those dreams I set aside?" she pondered aloud, her heart racing at the thought. "Exactly. This could be your moment, Mia. You deserve to reclaim your life," he replied enthusiastically. Mia paused, staring out at the ocean, the waves reflecting the sunlight like diamonds. The idea of change felt exhilarating and terrifying all at once. Cultural reflection. In the backyard, it hurt like heartbreak, yet a flicker of hope ignited within her. But just as she began to feel a sense of clarity, a shadow crossed her mind. What if Ethan had ulterior motives? What if he had orchestrated everything, manipulating her into making decisions that would benefit him? "Mia, are you okay?" David's voice pulled her from her thoughts. "I'm just processing everything," she replied, the weight of uncertainty still heavy on her shoulders. "I have to confront Ethan again. I need to know what he's really planning." "Do what you need to do. You've got this," he reassured her before hanging up. As she looked around the backyard, she felt the warmth of the sun on her skin, but the chill of betrayal lingered. Determined to confront the truth, Mia marched inside, ready to face Ethan and demand answers. "Mia," he called as she entered the living room, where he was still glued to his phone. "What's wrong?" "What's wrong?" she echoed, her voice rising in intensity. "You sold my beach house without consulting me. Why would you do something like that?" Ethan stood up, defensively. "I thought it was what you wanted. You've been so distracted lately. I thought I was helping." "Helping? Oh my God, I can't believe this. You think selling my home is helping?" she exclaimed, her hands shaking with rage. He opened his mouth to respond, but Mia wasn't finished. "This isn't just a property to me. It's my life, our son's memories. You've taken that from me without a second thought." Suddenly, a realization hit her, a micro-twist that sent shivers down her spine. Was this your plan all along? To sell my dreams out from under me while I was distracted? Ethan's face paled, and for a moment, Mia could see the uncertainty in his eyes. "No, Mia, it wasn't like that. I just wanted to make things better for us." But she could see the truth hidden beneath his charming facade. "You wanted what was best for you, not us. I deserve better than this," she asserted, her voice firm. In that moment, a newfound strength surged through her. Mia had faced betrayal before, but this time she would not back down. She would reclaim her life, and perhaps, just perhaps, she would find a way to turn this heartbreak into something beautiful. "I can't believe you did this," Mia exclaimed. Tom tried to explain, but words failed him. Mia stood in the living room, the smell of morning coffee mingling with the distant hum of traffic outside. It felt like the calm before a storm, an unsettling quiet that had settled into her bones. She could hear the muffled voices drifting from the porch, where Ethan was deep in conversation with someone she never expected to see. Peering through the window, Mia's heart sank as she recognized the familiar face of the local developer, a man who had approached her with dreams of building luxury condos on the very land that held her family's memories. She felt a chill run down her spine, the weight of dread settling heavily in her chest. "Oh my God," she whispered to herself, her pulse quickening. The realization hit her like a tidal wave. Ethan was planning to sell the beach house without even consulting her. Taking a deep breath, Mia stepped back from the window, her mind racing. She had sacrificed so much for their family, and now it felt as if everything she held dear was slipping through her fingers. The beach house wasn't just a property, it was a sanctuary, a place where her children had built sandcastles and where laughter echoed through summer nights. It was where she had hoped to mend the broken pieces of her life. Mia's thoughts spiraled back to a time when everything was different, when Tom had been by her side and the future seemed bright. But in that moment, she had to focus. She needed answers. She grabbed her phone and texted David, her closest friend, hoping he would have the clarity she lacked. "Can we talk? I need your advice." Minutes felt like hours. But finally, David arrived, his expression a mixture of concern and curiosity. "What's going on, Mia?" he asked, his brow furrowed. "Ethan's been talking to that developer again," she said, her voice trembling with urgency. "I think he's planning to sell the beach house without me knowing." David's eyes widened. "That's insane. Have you confronted him?" "No, not yet. I need to understand more first," Mia replied. Pacing the room. The coffee pot gurgled softly in the background, but she couldn't focus on anything but the impending doom that loomed over her. "I can't believe he would do this." "Listen, you deserve to know the truth about everything," David said, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Maybe it's time to dig into the beach house's history. You might find something important." His words struck a chord within her. With renewed determination, Mia resolved to uncover the truth. "You're right. I need to know everything about that place," she said, her mind racing with possibilities. With David's encouragement, Mia headed to the local library, where she spent hours sifting through old newspapers and records. As she flipped through the yellowed pages, a clipping caught her eye, a feature on a family reunion held at the beach house years ago, detailing how Tom's parents had celebrated their anniversary there. The article mentioned how Tom had always cherished that time, but it also revealed something she had never known. The family had faced a tragic loss during that reunion, a secret that had haunted Tom for years. Mia's heart raced as she processed the information. This wasn't just about the beach house. It was about the roots of Tom's pain, the shadows that had loomed over their marriage. She felt as if she were piecing together a puzzle that had long been hidden from her. Later that evening, as Mia sat in the living room with David, her mind was a whirlwind of emotions. "I can't believe this," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "All this time, I thought the beach house was just a place of memories, but it's so much more. It's tied to Tom's past in ways I never imagined." David leaned back in his chair, his expression contemplative. "It sounds like you've stumbled onto something significant. Maybe this is why he's so eager to sell it. He might think he can escape his past." Mia nodded, her heart heavy with a mix of sadness and understanding. "I need to confront him about this. He can't just erase our family history like it's nothing." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow across the living room, Mia felt a sense of clarity. She was ready to fight for what mattered most, not just for herself, but for their children. This wasn't just about a house, It was about reclaiming her voice and her power in a relationship that had long felt one-sided. But as she prepared to confront Ethan, a sliver of doubt crept in. What if he was too far gone, too consumed by his own desires to see the value in what they had? In that moment, she realized the stakes were higher than she had ever imagined. It was time to stand her ground, to face the man who had betrayed her trust, and to uncover the secrets that had lingered in the shadows for far too long. "Oh my God," Mia whispered in disbelief. "I can explain everything," Tom said desperately. Mia stood in her backyard, the rain lightly misting the air, creating a fresh scent that mingled with the fading sweetness of apple pie cooling on the kitchen counter. The distant sound of traffic echoed in the background, a constant reminder of the world outside her chaotic thoughts. She couldn't shake off the weight in her chest, the disheartening realization that her son had sold the beach house without even consulting her. How could he do that? As she paced along the stone path, her mind raced with emotions. It felt like betrayal, a violation of the trust she had instilled in her family. "I can't believe this," she whispered to herself, her heart sinking deeper with every step. The beach house wasn't just a property. It was a sanctuary filled with memories, laughter, and her dreams. In that moment of reflection, Mia knew she had to confront Ethan. This wasn't just about the house. It was about their family, the bond that felt increasingly fragile. She took a deep breath, the smell of rain-soaked earth grounding her. She envisioned a family meeting, a chance to lay everything out on the table. Perhaps if she could gather evidence of the beach house's historical value, old photographs, documents from her husband, she could make a compelling case to Ethan. That evening, as the sky darkened and the rain began to pour, Mia dug through her old boxes in the attic. Dust motes danced in the beam of her flashlight, and with each item she uncovered, memories flooded back. The faded photographs of family gatherings at the beach house, the laughter, the joy, the sense of belonging. Each image felt like a reminder of what was at stake. "Look at this," she muttered, holding up a photo of her son building sandcastles with his father. The happiness radiating from their faces tugged at her heartstrings. How could Ethan not see the value of what they had? Later, as she prepared her presentation for the family meeting, she felt a rush of determination. This was her chance to reclaim not just the beach house, but the essence of their family. She arranged the photographs in a neat stack, along with the documents that outlined the property's historical significance. It wasn't just about real estate, it was about legacy, love, and the memories that shaped their lives. "Mia," David's voice broke through her concentration as he stepped into the backyard, shaking off droplets of rain from his jacket. "You okay? You seem a bit off." She sighed, her shoulders sagging under the weight of her thoughts. "I'm just trying to figure out how to talk to Ethan about the beach house. It feels like he doesn't understand what it means to us." David leaned against the railing, his expression serious yet supportive. "You have to let him know how you feel. Don't just let this slide. You deserve to fight for it." Mia nodded, encouraged by his words. "You're right. I need to show him that this is about more than just a house. It's our home." As she gathered her notes, the rain began to lighten, and the air felt charged with possibility. Mia felt a surge of strength. She wouldn't back down without a fight. Later that week, the family meeting finally arrived. The kitchen was filled with the aroma of fresh coffee, and Mia set the scene, trying to create a sense of warmth and safety. Ethan entered, his demeanor casual, but Mia could sense an undercurrent of tension as she gestured for him to sit. "Mia, I didn't think this was a big deal," Ethan began, his charm failing to mask his dismissiveness. "Oh my God, Ethan," Mia interrupted, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "It is a big deal. The beach house isn't just a property, it's our family's history. It holds so many memories, our son's childhood, our family gatherings." Ethan shifted in his seat, a frown forming on his face. I understand that, but we need to think about the future. The money could help us in so many ways. Money? Mia shot back, feeling her heart race. Is that really all this is about for you? Selling our past for a quick gain? Look, I'm just trying to be practical, he said defensively. Practical? You mean selfish, she countered, the tension palpable in the room. You didn't even consult me. This is not just your decision. I want us to talk about this, to consider what it means for our family. Ethan opened his mouth to respond, but Mia pressed on. I've gathered evidence of its historical value. These photos, these memories, they matter. I matter. For a moment, silence enveloped them. Mia felt a mixture of fear and determination, her heart pounding as she laid out the photographs before him. Look at this, she said, pointing to a picture of their son splashing in the waves, joy evident on his face. This is what we're selling. This is what we're losing. Ethan's expression softened slightly, but Mia could see the conflict in his eyes. Maybe we can talk about it, he finally said, his voice uncertain. Mia felt a glimmer of hope. Perhaps there was still a chance to salvage not just the beach house, but the family they had once cherished. The rain outside began to taper off, and she realized the storm wasn't just in her heart, it was in the decisions that lay ahead. As they sat there, the smell of fresh coffee mixing with the lingering scent of rain, Mia understood that this moment could change everything. She had finally taken a stand, and no matter the outcome, she felt empowered to reclaim her life and her family's legacy. Mia clenched her fists. I don't want to hear any more excuses. Tom hung his head. I'm truly sorry. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a warm golden glow over the backyard, where the smell of fresh grass mingled with the tantalizing aroma of a nearby barbecue. Mia stood at the edge of her property, her heart racing as she prepared for the family meeting she had insisted on. Birds chirped cheerfully in the trees, but the sounds felt distant, as if they were mocking her turmoil. Ethan, we need to talk about this, Mia said, her voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions inside her. She glanced at her son, who leaned against the wooden fence, his arms crossed defiantly. Mom, I don't see why you're making such a big deal out of this, Ethan replied, his tone dismissive. It's just a house. We can get a better one with the money from the sale. Mia's heart sank. It's not just a house, Ethan. This place has our memories, our history. It's where your father and I spent summers, where you learned to swim. You can't just sell it like it's a piece of furniture. Ethan rolled his eyes, clearly irritated. You're being dramatic. We need to think about our future, not cling to the past. The tension in the air was palpable, almost as thick as the smoke from the barbecue. Mia felt the weight of her memories pressing down on her, the laughter of family gatherings echoing in her mind. Oh my God. Ethan, you're throwing away everything we've built for a quick buck. At that moment, Tom strolled into the backyard, a beer in hand, oblivious to the storm brewing. What's all the fuss about? He asked, glancing between Mia and Ethan. Mia turned to Tom, desperation spilling from her lips. He's selling the beach house without even talking to me about it. Can you believe this? Tom shrugged, taking a sip of his beer. It's just business, Mia. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions. Business? Mia echoed incredulously. This isn't just business. It's my home. It's where I felt safe and loved. Don't you care? Of course I care, Tom replied, irritation creeping into his voice. But you have to face reality. We can't keep holding on to things that no longer serve us. The room fell silent, the only sound the distant crackling of the grill. Mia felt the betrayal seeping into her bones. Reflection. That moment in the backyard changed everything. She was losing not just a house, but a piece of herself, a part of her family's legacy. Mia turned back to Ethan, her voice trembling. Do you really think selling this house will solve our problems? You're just running away from reality. You're throwing away our memories for a quick fix." Ethan's expression hardened. "You don't understand, Mom. I've already signed a contract." Mia's breath caught in her throat. "What? You can't be serious." "I am," he said, a hint of satisfaction in his voice. "It's done." Mia felt as if the ground had shifted beneath her feet. "How could you do this? You didn't even think to ask me? I can't believe you would betray me like this." Ethan's face morphed into a mask of indifference. "You're always so emotional about everything. This was just a business decision. You'll thank me when we have the money to do something better." "Better?" Mia's voice rose in disbelief. "What could possibly be better than our family's legacy?" Tom, trying to mediate, jumped in. "Mia, maybe it's time to let go. We can make new memories elsewhere." Mia shook her head, tears welling in her eyes. "You don't get it, do you? This isn't just about a house. It's about family and love, things you both seem to have forgotten." Ethan shrugged, his resolve unyielding. "I'm not going to apologize for trying to make a smart decision. You'll see." Mia felt a wave of grief wash over her, the betrayal cutting deeper than she could have imagined. "You've made your choice, Ethan, but I won't let you erase our past." She stepped away, needing to breathe, needing to escape the suffocating reality of it all. As she walked toward the house, she could hear the soft rustle of leaves, the chirping of the birds, now sounding like a distant echo of happier times. In that moment, Mia knew she had to reclaim her life, to stand up for what truly mattered. David's words echoed in her mind. She was stronger than she realized. She would not allow this betrayal to define her future. The sun dipped lower, shadows lengthening across the yard, but Mia felt a flicker of determination igniting within her. She would fight for her memories, for her family, and for the home that held the essence of who she was. And she would show them that a mother's love could never be taken away, not without a fight. "Enough!" Mia shouted, her voice echoing. "Please, let me speak," Tom pleaded. "There's nothing left to say," Mia finalized. Mia stood in the kitchen, the smell of fresh pancakes wafting through the air, mingling with the distant sounds of traffic filtering in from the outside world. It was a Saturday morning, the kind that used to be filled with laughter and warmth, but today felt different. Today, there was a heaviness that settled in the pit of her stomach, a reminder of the betrayal she had faced just days before. Her son, Ethan, had sold their beach house without even consulting her, a place that held years of memories, family gatherings, summer vacations, and laughter shared over barbecues on the deck had been reduced to a mere transaction in his eyes. Mia couldn't shake the feeling of heartbreak as she poured the syrup over the pancakes, the golden liquid glistening under the kitchen light, reminding her of all the joyful mornings they had spent together. "Mom?" Ethan's voice broke through her reverie, pulling her back into the present. He stood in the doorway, hands shoved deep into his pockets, his expression a mix of guilt and uncertainty. Mia turned to face him, her heart sinking further. "We need to talk," she said, keeping her tone steady despite the tempest of emotions swirling inside her. Ethan shuffled into the kitchen, the floor creaking beneath his feet as he settled at the table, his eyes darting around as if seeking an escape. "I know you're upset," he began, his voice barely above a whisper. "Upset doesn't begin to cover it," Mia replied, her voice firm but laced with the pain of a mother's heart. "You sold our beach house, Ethan. Our memories, our family history. It was all wrapped up in that place, and you didn't even think to ask me." "I thought it was for the best," he said, frustration creeping into his tone. "We're struggling, Mom. I thought selling it could help us." "Help us?" Mia interrupted, her heart racing. "You mean help you. You didn't consider how I felt, how much that house meant to us, to our family." Ethan looked down, guilt flooding his features. "I just wanted to take control of our finances. I thought you'd understand." Mia took a deep breath, the the smell of pancakes now feeling heavy in her chest. Cultural reflection. In the kitchen, it hurt like hope. She had sacrificed so much for this family, and now it felt like everything was slipping through her fingers. Ethan, I get that you want to be responsible, but you need to include me in these decisions. It's not just about numbers on a spreadsheet, it's about us. For a moment, silence hung between them, thick and palpable. Then Ethan looked up, his eyes glistening. I didn't realize how much it meant to you. I just thought it was time to move on. Mia's heart softened at his admission. It's not just about moving on. It's about holding on to the past while we build our future. We can't erase our history, Ethan. We have to honor it. I'm sorry, he said, his voice cracking. I thought I was doing the right thing. Mia reached across the table, placing her hand on his. We can figure this out together. Let's keep the beach house. But if we do, I want it to be something we both work on. Let's transform it into a shared project where we can merge our visions for it. Ethan nodded slowly, the tension in his shoulders easing. What if we turned it into a place where we can host family gatherings again? Maybe renovate it? Exactly, Mia smiled, a flicker of hope igniting in her chest. We can create new memories while cherishing the old ones. As they talked about their plans, the sound of distant traffic faded away, replaced by laughter and the clinking of forks against plates. The smell of pancakes brought painful memories, but now those memories felt like stepping stones leading to a brighter future. In that moment, Mia realized that healing didn't mean forgetting. It meant weaving the past with the present to forge something new. As they sat together, mapping out their vision for the beach house, Mia felt a renewed sense of purpose. And you know, Ethan, she said, her voice steady, it's okay to ask for help. We're family. We're in this together. Yeah, I get it now, Ethan replied, a hint of a smile breaking through the clouds of regret. Good, Mia said, feeling the warmth of connection rekindle between them. Because together, we can turn this around. And in that moment of shared understanding, Mia saw a future filled with possibilities. A future where they would honor the past while embracing the present. My son sold my beach house without asking, but I had a secret he never imagined. And you, on your porch, how do you honor your family's legacy while navigating the storms of change? Mia smiled for the first time in days. Everything will be okay. Tom nodded. You're stronger than you know.